I drove 18-wheelers for FedEx, and I absolutely hated it. I did it for 3 years. It just wasn't rewarding. I wasn't dealing with customers, and I love people. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story, if you don't mind, really quickly. I'm really great with people. That's a given, okay? It's either you're born with it or you're not, okay? I wanted to get into car sales. Everybody says, Ricky, you'd be great at it. So why not give it a shot? So about 3 weeks ago, I applied, and I got hired by the Kia dealership in North Brunswick, okay? Yes. So they put me in the back to do modules for a week. It took me 3 days. I got 17 out of the 18 done. I got hung up on the lease end special. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay? They put me out on the floor after the first day. They said to me the next day, they said, Rick, you have to sell a car either today or tomorrow. Talk about shaking in your boots. No experience, all nervous. Okay, good enough. I made a phone call to a friend. I said, look, you gotta come in and buy a car. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, okay? Guy came in and bought a car. The very next day, I sold another car, okay? Then it was the beginning of the week. Monday and Tuesday were dry days at the dealership. Nobody had sold a car, okay? And I see that the biggest hurdle in this business is getting people to come in. That is the biggest hurdle, I think, okay? So Monday and Tuesday were dry days. Then I had off Wednesday. And I have asthma, and I'm very reliable, okay? Thursday rolled around and went into work, and my asthma was really kicking. You could hear me breathing. I had to go to the hospital. They called me Thursday night at 10 p.m. at night, one of the managers, and he said, Rick, you know, my boss wanted me to call you. We're going to head in a different direction. I said, what did I do wrong? I said, I've done everything he asked of me. And then I went back to pick up my paycheck, and the one guy was like, Rick, you're just too nice for the business. I said, are you kidding me? I've never had that happen to me in my life, okay? I'd rather you be straight with me and tell me something that I need to fix or change than to give me some bullshit answer. So I have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth because of them. But, you know, I mean, is what it all boils down to is this gentleman with the training. I'm being serious. You know, you get a guy like me who, you know, loves people, has a great upbeat attitude, but you need that, you know, like you guys, when you started in the family business, you didn't bring your own group of customers, you had to build that. And that's what I need. I need the support to learn how to do this. And I'll shut up and I'll listen to you guys and we'll go from there.
I haven't started yet. I was just here.
Give me that shit. Okay, but you gotta learn the business. Yeah. You know, how old are you guys?
I'm 22.
You're 22.
I just graduated.
God bless you. What was your major?
Business.
Awesome. See, same here. And, you know, I mean, but it's hard, especially what you guys have on your shoulders, being a family business.
Well, the beauty with our dealership is that my dad is very a salesman's dealer. He provides websites for the salesman, he provides Facebook ads, he does an easy referral program, which is smartphone technology.
Okay.
You can build your referral base for your friends and family that can easily send you people.
Okay.
We have a very strong pay plan for the salespeople.
Okay.
What we do with new incoming people, and this is how I started, this is how he's going to start, and this is how...
Oh, you'll be working with me?
Yeah.
God bless you, man. Well, you'll be my
something
boss.
close, I like it.
Okay.
So we do a BDC training process for the first 2-3 weeks.
What do you say it was?
It's a business development center training process.
Okay, is that the internet?
Yes.
Okay, I've
Yes.
seen that.
So within the 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on how long we deem is necessary into the BDC, we work on the phone skills, we work on the internet, you learn the objections, you learn the products, you do his Sellchology university training, you get Kia certified.
Yep.
So that's why we're not just going to throw you out on the
Thank
floor
you.
with...
I'm one test away from being Kia certified. I got hung up on that lease end special, okay?
That's alright, well, I would be able to help you. But other than that, it's just a matter of, obviously, and that's really where we weed people in and out. So, I mean, yeah, we can say you're hired today, but you have basically a month period of proving yourself, and there's a girl named Nicole who's going to be like give the thumbs up or the thumbs down to say, I think this guy has it, I think he doesn't.
Yeah.
And you'll be making 100 calls a day,
and
it's going to be, as I said, it's going to be some grunt work. But as I said, within those 4-week period, you're going to be training, learning the product, doing his Sellchology, and we can take a new person and mold them. That's basically one of our specialties. Because I did it, and there's about 3 or 4 other successful people in this dealership who that's how we started.
Okay.
So I do like that aspect of it. Jonathan, do you?
Yeah, I have a few questions,
Yeah.
of course. Well, so one of the questions is based on a comment that you made about having had to make too many changes due to the economy. At 39 years old, you feel like you made too many changes. Obviously, I heard about Gateway. I heard about the Dairy Queen. I heard about driving a truck. But so walk me backwards in time. So we know Gateway. What were you doing right before Gateway?
I drove 18 wheels for FedEx.
So that was right before that. And then how long was that?
I did the trucking business for 4 years.
So you were at FedEx for 4 years?
I was at FedEx for 2, and I was with Prime for another 2.
And so those were sequential, one right after the other?
Yes.
So we've got Gateway, we've got FedEx and Prime, so that accounts for the last basically 4 years and a little bit. And then prior to that, what were you doing?
I used to be the district training store manager for Blockbuster, which I saw out to the very end until Blockbuster went bankrupt.
Okay.
Every job I've seen that, I'm not one of these that bounces. It's just that you look at this economy, and the reason I sold the ice cream store was because cost cutters, my anchor store, they were going bankrupt. So that draw to the shopping plaza, once that draw wasn't there, what do? If you don't have that customer base coming in, you have to sell, you have to get out. So it's you know, back in like when my parents were younger, okay, my dad had passed away, he was 52. But you can start with a career and end with a career. And it is a little discouraging, you know, because you want to put in the time, you want to work for a company, you want to show up on time, you want to do the right thing, and you want the company there to support you as much as you support the company.
Sure.
So that's my answer with that.
So what is, in general, other than your stint at Gateway, do you have any specific sales-related experience where you were getting a customer to take action in a selling environment? Is that part of your background at all?
Only with Blockbuster, pretty much.
And what was that, though?
That was retail sales within the store of just electronic merchandise, selling them memberships, taking care of customer issues with them.
Okay, so that's more of a customer service, very soft retail. Because if I walked into Blockbuster back in the day, which these guys probably didn't even walk into a Blockbuster, so
I understand. Okay.
But, you know, yeah, when you walk,
got you.
Yeah,
I understand.
You know, so really, actual selling, convincing, or selling, persuading, or selling where a customer's taking, you know, you don't have any.
Fresh.
Okay. All right. So a couple things I usually like to do if I got a clean slate like this.
Okay.
So one thing is when it comes to, I need a sheet of paper, boss. And then
There's a pen behind me.
I just use a marker. You want to slide up here real quick for me, boss?
I'm being quizzed. Okay.
What I need is on the clock. I'll use mine. I'm going to give you 30 seconds on the clock, and here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to draw a house, and you have 30 seconds to do it. And whenever you're ready, you let me know, and then 30 seconds.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go.
Man. Gentlemen, I'm never going to forget this.
You got 10 more seconds.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, first of all, how do you feel like you did?
In between. Okay. Decent.
Why would you give me an in-between, okay, decent job?
Because, great answer. Okay.
I'm asking you.
I
You're
like
the one
that.
who just told me.
Well, I feel that
I
feel that my house could add more. You know, I was timed with 30 seconds.
But you had 5 more
Forget the
seconds.
excuses. Okay. Man, I've never had this before, but this is good. 30 seconds. I just want to add more to it. I couldn't think of what I needed to add to it. I put windows, I put a chimney,
Okay.
put a nice sidewalk. I tried to make my house as appealing as possible.
Okay.
But I felt that I needed more time to make it
But you had 5 more seconds. I didn't call time. You did.
very well.
Okay, interesting. All right, so the next follow-up question is, why did you draw that kind of house?
Because it's the only house I knew how to draw.
Okay. It seems a little excessive, though, because it's for a bird.
Okay? Understood?
I mean, it's a, right?
Oh,
bird,
no,
bird doesn't really need a chimney.
Oh, okay. Well, you asked. Okay. You asked me to draw a house. Okay.
But what,
So I thought it was a house for a human being.
you thought that.
I thought that. Okay.
So what's the lesson?
The lesson is just don't think.
Well, it's not don't think.
Uh,
What's the
don't
lesson?
assume.
That's the lesson. So what would have been the right response when I said I need a house?
To ask questions.
Like what? Give me 5 questions you would ask.
What type of house?
Okay, it's for a bird.
Okay. How big would you like the house?
It's an ostrich.
Where would you like the house?
By my house. 2 more.
Is there any specific things that you want added to the house?
It needs a roof
And
and a bird feeder.
okay. Do you want to stand on that bird feeder?
No.
Okay, sir.
All right, so there's 2 styles essentially of a salesperson that are intuitive, even a person who's never sold before.
Okay.
A consultative style
Okay.
and what's called a motivative style. An initiator, right?
Yes.
Your approach that is intuitive that came out, would you say it was more consultative or motivative?
Can you please repeat that one more
Yeah.
time?
So there's 2 main styles that people have intuitive.
Okay.
One style is consultative. The
Okay.
other style, so you either consultative.
Define that for me, please.
So consultative would mean prior to making a step, we want to understand the step.
Okay.
Whereas a motivated style would be, I'm glad you want to take a step, let's take a step.
Okay. This was definitely motivated.
Right.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I just need to know what I'm working with.
No problem.
Because what you need to know is you need to know that your natural tendency is to come in and take initiative. Let me tell you guys a story.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You wanted to initiate the process.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Right? But what you want to learn is you want to learn that the trap a lot of salespeople will make who are wired like you is a customer will come out and say, I want to look at an SUV. And you go, absolutely, I got an SUV like right over here. Let me show you something. Well, really, they don't need an SUV. And really, they shouldn't buy an SUV. But they want to look at an SUV.
Okay.
And so your ability to motivate somebody to go look at an SUV may backfire when we try to put numbers together and it turns out the SUV is $150 more a month than they can afford and it's not even what they really need.
Okay, very well.
You follow me?
Yes.
But you've spent 30 minutes motivating them on an SUV.
And now we're gonna have a very.
Now we've lost 30 minutes and now we have to move a person's mindset $150 or we have to switch gears entirely.
Okay, very well.
You follow me?
Yes, I do.
All I wanted to see was,
This is very interesting. This is the first time in my life where I ever had somebody do this with me.
sure,
And it's very interesting, to be honest with you.
sure.
Um,
So
I
next
like it that somebody could actually, maybe show me the right way how to. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
So next question I have for you is you had made a comment that I also found was interesting. You said, you're a natural people person.
Yes.
Getting along with people is pretty easy, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I can see aspects of that.
Thank you.
And this is a people business, so I think that part is important. My follow-up question to that would be, in this industry, and specifically in what we do as a car sales professional, as you well know, there's a stereotype that
Yes.
goes against us.
I do know this.
So it's not as easy as I'm good at just connecting with people. It's I have hostile people sometimes. People
Who are
who are
very
guarded,
stand-
people who are, standoffish. So it's not just I'm good at, you know, getting people to like me.
No, thank you very much.
It's also that you have to have the ability to get somebody who doesn't like me to like me,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
That's a little bit different. Also, when it comes to selling, you know, a lot of people, you said either you have it or you don't when it comes to people business.
Correct. I
that was a-
strongly agree with that.
Okay, so a lot of people also believe that it's the same thing when it comes to selling.
Okay.
You either have kind of the innate ability to sell or you don't.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes, I do.
Would you agree with that statement as much as you do the people statement, or not necessarily?
Yes, I do. I just feel that I need to be shown the way and fine-tuned, like what you're actually doing with me, like these examples
Okay.
and stuff. I believe that I got the equipment. I just need to know how to use it properly.
Okay. So I'm gonna. Excuse me one second. I'm gonna get some. Do you want some water as well, or is that?
No,
coffee
thank you.
sufficient?
That's sufficient. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. He's intimidating. God bless this guy. He's good for your business, man. Wow.
Okay, Rick, we'll try another thing.
Okay.
You are at ABC Water Company.
Okay.
You're a water bottling and water supply company.
Okay.
I'm walking in the door from the road. Come in, park, come in. You're behind the counter.
Okay.
And I'm saying to you, hi, I actually wanted to talk to somebody about buying some water from you guys.
Okay.
What can you guys tell me about your water?
Oh, what can I tell you about my Kirkland water here? Well, sell a bottle of water. Okay. Sir, we offer a purified water with natural minerals added for taste. Okay. We offer it in a 16.9 fluid ounce bottle. Based on the quantity, you know, we can work with you with the price. It's one of the best waters out there on the market right now. I would love for you to taste it. We have a lot of great customer reviews on it. We've been on the market for X amount of years. And I am just a firm believer of this product myself. Me and my family drink it. It's just something that I stand by. And I would love for you to taste it. And I shouldn't be stalling. I'll tell you that right now. And any questions that I could answer for you or you need to ask, I would love to, you know, guide you and walk you through the process. I want you to feel as comfortable as possible with purchasing our water, you know, because you can do business with anybody else anywhere, you know, but I want you to feel comfortable with doing business with me.
Okay.
So that this way, you know, we can build a rapport.
Okay. All right. You good?
In my mind, never good enough, but
You're okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. Can we reverse roles for a second?
Yes, of course.
So you're coming into my water bottling company? Do the
Okay.
same thing.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Rick. I'm
Well-
thinking about maybe purchasing some of your water from you.
I appreciate that, Rick. Do you mind if I ask, are you looking to buy this for one-time use, or are you looking for a regular supply of water? Tell me a little bit about your situation. What do you need the water for?
I actually own a storefront.
Okay.
I own a business where we're looking to probably sell about 25 cases per week.
Okay.
You know, I am just shopping around.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling me a little bit more about your business and
Sure.
what's your current water supply now? Who's supplying for you, and what's the main reason you're looking for it now?
Well, I'd rather come to you maybe and buy it wholesale
Okay.
because I am going to your local BJ's and Costco's right
Sure.
now. And I'm seeing if you can maybe offer me a better price.
Absolutely.
And I just want to know what your take is on this water.
Absolutely.
You know,
Is first of all, depending on your familiarity with the company, obviously we do supply the water, but we supply the water in many ways. We have private labeling options. We have obviously our brand as well. Is branding the water yourself also important to you to attach it to your company? Are you going to be selling the water on a regular basis? Will you sometimes be giving it away to clients or customers?
as a courtesy. Yeah, I'll be giving it away as a courtesy also.
So what's the difference right now in our approaches?
You're asking a lot of questions to
Okay.
me. As
How
a
many
customer.
questions did you ask me in your minute and 20 seconds?
Nothing. I tried to sell you.
So what's the lesson?
The lesson is shutting up, and instead of doing the talking, do a lot more listening.
And that was the lesson here.
Yes, sir.
So then the question becomes one of coachability.
Okay.
We just
Okay.
had this conversation,
Okay.
and you go right back into the motivated style.
Okay.
Do you see how hard it
Yes,
is?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That's going to be the hardest thing in working with you,
Okay.
is because you're hardwired motivated.
Okay.
So even when I just corrected it or gave you the insight of it, as much as you appreciated the insight and just told me how amazing that insight was,
Yes.
a minute later, given the opportunity to demonstrate what you just learned and recognized, you still didn't do a single question.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
The hardest part for a guy like me is to help a guy work against his own nature. Okay? Because that's going to be the thing that'll trap you. Is you walk up and you immediately start feature benefiting the customer, telling them, oh, you're looking at the Kia Soul, let me show you the Soul. So this is the 2016 Soul, it's a red one, this is the package whatever, it's got this and this and this in it, it's equipped with this, it's got this much fuel economy, the warranty on it is, yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
That's an issue that has to be addressed. Otherwise, you're going to be landing people on the wrong car all the time, on too much money, or on the wrong situation for their need, all because they said, I want to look at it. I want to look at water. Well, let me give you a 2-minute spiel on water instead of saying, tell me about water. You know, what's bringing you in, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be one of the number one concerns I'd have. The other concern that I have, quite frankly, and this is a concern I have with anybody who doesn't have a sales experience, and you're coming into it a little bit later in life, obviously.
Yes.
You know. And rewiring the human brain is always a challenge for me.
Okay.
Getting people to do things that they haven't had to do for 35, 39 years of their life.
Yes, correct.
Very difficult to do. But one of the other challenges that I find for non-sales qualified people who haven't been kind of through the trenches already is coming into this industry compared to, like, let's say furniture or jewelry as a starting point.
Yes.
Which is almost always what I would have wished I would have seen on a resume like yours, is I would have seen that you're coming from furniture, or you're coming from jewelry, you're coming from another type of transitional retail, because Blockbuster I don't really count as selling at all, but I would have seen, like, if you were, I did Blockbuster customer service, then I did furniture, and I've done jewelry, and now I'm looking at, maybe I came out of motorsports, motorcycles, ATVs, and now I'm coming into automotive. So the concern that I have is whatever it was that they didn't see in you at Gateway to keep you there, I'm concerned about the challenge that I would have in trying to figure out what did they find that took them a week to figure out why you weren't bringing enough value to the table for them to say, let's keep them around.
Understood.
And I think probably, and they accused you of the be nice thing, I think the hardest thing is to convince a guy how to overcome the rejection and the just the objections that come into this business.
Okay.
If you don't have the wiring to be resilient to that, if it's not part of your DNA, it's almost impossible to teach you to grow teeth.
Okay.
So the fact that you're as nice as you are and you are people oriented, but the fact that you're a motivator and not a consultative, and you don't have the sales background, so therefore you don't have the rejection handling skills, those are things that give me serious pause. If we had a real need, like, it's not like, so we're not down people. If we were down people, I would say, let's coach them and figure it out. But we're not down people, so we don't need people. So when we bring you on, we would have to be confident that bringing you on is adding enough value to justify the stress it brings to the rest of the team when we bring somebody on.
Of course.
So the fact that the coachability wasn't as fast as I hoped, and that you're not a natural consultative, it's very hard to teach, and then you don't have the rejections built-in background from your resume. Those are the reasons that I would say at this point I'm not convinced that you're the right fit.
Respect that. Okay. No problem. At least I learned by coming here, and I thank you. It is interesting. It's something that I will take with me. I don't wish I would have done anything different. It is what it is. But I thank you for your time. Mm-hmm. That's all I can say. Yeah. And I wish you guys the best. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the future you have my resume. Mm-hmm. But I am willing to learn, and it means a lot. You're a very intelligent man. God bless you, and you're definitely an asset that is able to weed out different people. And God bless. That really is an asset for the business. Mm-hmm. So
I want to follow up on something you just said. You said you wouldn't have done anything different. That's a little bit surprising to me. Why would you say that you wouldn't do anything different?
Well, I'm a little ashamed right now. You know, I'm a little embarrassed.
But be
okay?
ashamed and be embarrassed, but to say I wouldn't do anything different implies that you're glad about the outcome. Right? If you wouldn't do, if doing nothing,
sorry, I
if
take
doing
that
nothing
back.
different got you to where you are, and where you are is walking out the door, to say I wouldn't do anything different is saying I'm glad I'm walking out the door.
Okay, very well. No, I'm wrong with that. I would have liked to have done things differently. I wish I would have picked up after the first time you teaching me to actually do the listening and asking the questions, asking the customer the questions, instead of trying to sell them and doing all the talking out of being nervous.
Yeah.
Instead, doing the listening and actually finding out what they want.
Fair enough.
You know, and going from there.
I appreciate that. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I understand. All right, thank you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
your time. Very nice meeting you. Okay, I wish you guys the best.
Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Do me one favor, Rick. If
Yes.
you'll grab a seat out there, I just want to do a quick recap with them in case they have any other questions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trash can.
All right. So let me tell you why I was doing what I was doing.
Amazing.
Right?
I should have recorded.
I recorded the whole thing.
Well, this girl that I got outside, it's Nicole's friend. She has a hair appointment. She wants to come back after her hair appointment. She likes this right there.
Okay, so let me bring you up to speed on why I did a few of the things I did.
Michael, do you listen? Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I would have sucked if I had a new job and feel like that.
So there's a couple things I'm trying to do with that interview process.
You gotta-
This exercise here, yeah, I'm recording. This exercise here, it does reveal their natural intuitive state. Because when you say to a consultative, somebody who's intuitively consultative, when you say to them, draw a house, the first thing they say is, does it matter what kind of house it is? That's the first thing they say. But if they don't say that and they just start drawing a house, here's what you also need to look for. This is a very powerful exercise. This detail orientation is very important. It tells me he's very thorough and detail oriented. Okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if I looked at his resume, if his resume was pretty clean and there wasn't any spelling errors. This detail orientation, the 3 dimensions to it. A lot of people will just do like a box, scribble, scribble, and they're done. If they're scribble, scribble done, that's a chaos person. They're always, everything will be, where's the, you don't have a signature, you don't have a copy of this, you don't have, this guy, you're not going to have problems with his paperwork. That's not going to be your issue with him. You follow me? The 3rd dimension, the pathway, the chimney, the multiple windows, a lot of times they will put a tree in the yard, you know, tree with a swing and birds in the sun. I mean, you get that kind of detail orientation, that's pretty impressive, right? But what it's missing is the consultative. He didn't know it was for an ostrich. Right? So that's why I always ask, how did you do? And then when they tell me, I don't know, okay, why would you do an okay job? You're in a job interview and you just did an okay job, you had 30 seconds. Why would you give me okay? The reason I do that initially is I'm pushing back. I want to see how they feel and react when I push against them, when I start to reject them. Because I'm building towards a big rejection, which is what I just did, which I always do, even if I love the guy, even if I'm drooling. I'm trying to hide my drool because I want to hire the guy. But I'm going to reject the guy. I'm going to find a reason to say, maybe it's because he's too cool, but I'm going to tell the guy I'm not interested, right? Because I want to see what he does. I had a guy say, you know what I think it is? I think you guys are a bunch of racists, and he started cussing me out in the interview. A guy I wanted to hire, okay, in Minnesota, started calling me a racist. I'm like, all right, bye. I'm thinking, jeez, I just saved myself. I wanted to hire this guy so bad. So I always reject every candidate. I always assess if I'm dealing with consultative or motivative. Once I correct their style, I give them a second completely different test, in this case, the water test. Because I want to see their coachability, right? How fast do they catch on? These are not deal breakers. I'm not saying I don't want to hire the guy, but I just wanted to see what he would do.
Yeah.
You see how he folded like a cheap tent when I rejected him. I just told him, the challenge I have with you is that I don't know that you're going to be good with rejection. I don't know if you're going to be good with overcoming objections. You're right. It's like, oh, crap. So what we don't have to worry about is the guy is good. I think he's personable, right? Did you feel okay with him?
Yeah.
Right? Personable. I think he pays attention. I think those are all good qualities. Do I think right now that we have 1 or 2 people that I would rather have Rick as a clean slate than what I know I have? I could probably do that if you said do that now. But you have to answer that question. Yeah. If I said you have to bring Rick on, but you have to fire someone to do it, how would you feel about that choice?
I wouldn't, but I think this guy would.
Yeah, and he would
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. But I want to ask that question. If I bring this guy on, and if it meant I had to fire someone to bring him on,
I'm not in.
you're not in at this point.
I'm the decision maker.
Right. So, and then at this point, do we need another person enough that we should bring him on?
No.
No. So at this point, then, I'm comfortable saying we actually are going to pass.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, too?
I'm definitely comfortable.
How do you feel about it?
Good. I learned a lot.
All right, good.
Good.
All right, so let's go ahead and let him go then. Tell him we'll keep his stuff on file.
I gotta set up my interviews. I gotta leave something.
All right, and that is my interview process for Sellchology.